My friends, today I want to show you 5 insanely powerful guitar exercises that will put you ahead of 90% of guitar players, because with these upcoming incredibly powerful finger exercises, you will make much faster progress in your routine compared to other guitar players working on less effective exercises. So let's not waste any more time. Here are the really awesome finger exercises I want to show you this time. So one pretty cool cliche that you can see and hear quite often in death metal out of all genres is working with minor third trills. But what I'm about to show you is not only useful to you if you want to work on death metal. This is useful for absolutely all players because the special focus right here is on the pinky finger. And I think it's safe to say all of us are the most frustrated with this finger. So for those trills, the lower note is the root note. For the first one, that was E on the 7th fret on the A string. And I'm using my pinky to play the minor third G right here. So E and G with the pinky, and this cliche most often revolves around 16th note triplets. So just a combination of hammer-ons and pull-offs. When I see student clips in the VIP Facebook group, I often see really great hammer-ons, since it's kind of the easier motion of those two. Just hammering on the fretboard. But especially with these trills, please make sure to really pull off so that the lower note is sounding again. Don't just lift your finger like this. That would result in a sound like that. So barely audible lower note. Try to go for a small snapping motion so that you can really hear the lower note again. And if you're into metal and death metal, what you want to do is move that around just one fret up or down, so a semitone up or down. Here's the example exercise I tapped out for you in this week's PDF sheet and guitar profile. My friend, just one quick, very important information before we continue. If you're actually serious about your guitar technique and you still kind of struggle with that awkward flying pinky finger, and you want to take your guitar playing and sound from this to this in just 30 days of practicing, you can download my full finger technique and legato course in my Guitar Academy on patreon.com/burn. This course has helped over 40,000 happy students so far with finally getting rid of their biggest frustrations when it comes to their finger technique. You just have to click the link down below, patreon.com/burn, download it right away. Let's also take your finger technique to a world-class professional level in the next 30 days. For exercise number 2, we will continue to work with trills, since those are great for finger training, for independence and for control. But instead of just working with minor thirds, so with the index finger and the pinky finger, we will work with all kinds of finger pairings so that you train all your fingers equally and so that you use combinations you probably don't use that much in a practical context right now. Middle finger and ring finger. I really want you to focus on only using your middle finger and your ring finger and not anchoring with your index finger and using the fingers like this. Up next, you guessed it, ring finger and pinky finger, maybe the most tricky one. For the exercise I tapped out, you simply move down to the middle finger and ring finger again. Another challenge that makes this one great is that you don't want the B string to ring out, so you don't want any overlapping notes right here. It will have a big effect on your finger technique and especially the independence. And up next, let's talk about my favorite topic when it comes to finger technique, advanced legato licks. So working on fusion-like legato licks like this changed my finger technique forever. This really paid off for me. And with the next quick exercise example, I want to show you one of my favorite lines. The reason why I think that this one is a great daily exercise is because it's not just simply playing the scale up or down exclusively, like you hear it a lot in rock and metal. It's an interesting pattern where you have to work with hybrid picking just a little bit, so you will be plucking one of the strings with your middle finger while you're exclusively playing upstrokes, except for that last note in the lick. The reason why I'm plucking the last note with my middle finger right here is because I have to skip to the G string for the next line. That one's a great daily exercise aside from the trills that I showed you, because it's a very practical lick that you can use in a song, and I think it will help your finger technique a lot. As always, just make sure that your thumb is positioned in the area behind your middle finger and really helping out with hammering and pulling off all those notes. It's pretty much impossible to play like this if you're playing with your thumb sticking out like that. So that's how my technique looks like from behind the neck. I want to make sure not to apply any real pressure like this. and I'm just following my fingers a little bit with the thumb, so it's not just positioned like this and I'm playing like that. So the right thumb technique plays a huge role in playing licks like that. For example number 4, I want to show you something that I hear a lot of people complaining about, and that's all about stretching. And I think it's mostly because of bad finger technique, to be honest, like always placing the thumb like this. I also can't stretch at all when I do that, but when I move it down, I can stretch like that. So to help you with training those stretching abilities, I highly recommend working on 4-note per string positions. You don't have to work on crazy 4-note per string scale lines right away. I tapped out an easy example for you. That's a great introduction for the 4-note per string stuff. So as you can see, I do have to stretch a bit to reach the notes like this, but aside from that being a great exercise for the correct thumb placement and for stretching your fingers out a bit, this will also result in tons of really cool phrasing opportunities when you're improvising or simply writing guitar solos. Because if you're a rock and metal player like me, you most likely work with 3-note per string scales a lot and you end up playing the same patterns. But as soon as you open yourself to 4-note per string lines or a combination of 3-note per string and 4-note per string lines, we'll come up with completely new ideas to phrase very fast and complicated licks. So if you play tons of 3-note per string stuff and you feel like it's getting repetitive, and if you feel like you should work on stretching your fingers a little bit more, that's a great exercise to start with all of that. And lastly, I want to show you a classic exercise that I've been revisiting. I came across this video again and gave the exercise another try, and I have to say it's really awesome. Not only because you're sweeping this one, also because you have to use your fingers in a pretty unique and weird way. And this has been in my practice routine as a warm-up in the last couple of days, and I really feel like I can individually control and feel my fingers after doing that for a couple of minutes. The main challenge with that one is not playing overlapping strings like this, so you want to lift your finger right after playing the note just a little bit. And it's a real finger twister. When you try it the first time, your fingers probably won't operate like you want them to. And that's actually a good sign, because if you feel that way, you just found the perfect exercise to train your finger control and finger independence over the next couple of weeks.